Although there's nobody in here. Gotta start it off right. Well, let's start setting things up. If you're curious about anything on the table, feel free to ask. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. How are you doing today? It's hard to show this one off without getting your face involved. I do not have one of them Rambo knives. Fixed blades aren't really my thing personally. I do have an OTF on the table. It's a cheap one. Schrade Viper series. No, that's a Spyderco Delica 4. The Salt series is yellow. This one's VG10. How's that for a Swiss Army knife? You're right, a few of them are black, and some of them are green. I'd say this one's pretty freaking big. Got 22 tools on this thing. But yeah, I forgot about the black G10 versions and the green LC200N versions as well. I don't own any of those ones, so I wouldn't mind having. So serrated knives aren't really my thing, but I don't do anything with rope, so it wouldn't benefit me. And Gone's not a whole lot is up for me personally. I'm just sitting here doing a live stream, seeing how long we can make it last. It's probably only gonna go for 2 hours total, and it started 6 minutes ago. But yeah, I don't have any use for serrated knives, so I don't carry them. The serrations just get in the way. Yep. I don't work around water at all. I don't live near an ocean. Let's put it that way. And salt is not involved in my daily life. No clue what that means. I do not have a 5 max. I wouldn't mind having one, but I can't afford something like that. I enjoy guns. I really enjoy going shooting, but it's hard to do a gun YouTube channel with as little money as I have, which is where knives come into play. Knives are significantly cheaper than guns, and it's easier to come up with new content with knives than it is with guns. My first channel was going to be about guns, but it's just too expensive. Depending on what country you live in, they can be. You really need to look at your local laws and follow every law to the word. But some places guns are legal. You just have to be one of them few people that wants to work for it. I think that one's one of my favorite dinosaurs. But that's kind of weak. 2,100 pounds per square inch. There's some dogs that do 600 pounds. Couldn't you at least do 10 times that? I mean, look at the bite force of a bull mastiff. Yeah, there we go. Well, I don't know anything about Newtons. Newtons aren't my wheelhouse. I think I'm one of the very few guys that doesn't like Glock because Glock makes guns that look like Legos. They're just bricks. And the reason why they got popular in the first place was because they were inexpensive. And now they're not inexpensive. So I do enjoy FNs. I don't like Glocks. I do enjoy CZ, however, makes really nice guns. For the price, it's really hard to beat. Hogue makes some nice stuff too. They're a little spendy though. Hogue makes gun parts and they also make knives. Really nice knives. I did not know that. Might have to look those up later. Again, for anybody curious, feel free to ask any questions about any of the knives on the table. I'd be more than happy to answer. Yeah, they made the AUG 3, AUG 2, AUG 1, the Scout, that Scout rifle in 223. I really want one of those. They're a little spendy though. Italy makes tractors too. I don't know about rifles anymore. I don't know a whole lot of companies in Italy. How you doing, DBD? Haven't seen you in one of these streams yet. Unlike your streams, I don't ever have any plans. Mine just kind of happen. Backwoods, how you doing? So, I wouldn't recommend this Gerber knife specifically. I kind of regret buying it. I spent 35 bucks on this thing, and it's a flipper, but when you flip it, it doesn't open all the way. And I've come to realize that over the years of owning this thing, the bamboo on the scale has been warping and lifting up. If you want a good Gerber for about the same price as this one, it's gonna look cheap, but it's so worth it. They still make these. It's called the Gerber LST. You can probably get them in black. I think the red one was a limited edition thing, but I'm not sure. It's a really nice knife for, I think they're like 30 bucks. Well, yeah, getting cut by a knife you regret. That's worse. But yeah, this one's a good one. I'd highly recommend this thing. I've enjoyed carrying it over the last few weeks. This is my left side carry. It is 420 steel, so it's significantly better than a lot of the other ones, and their heat treat on this stuff is pretty good. I'd love to leave a link, but I can't remember. Well, I don't know if I can type down there. Anyway, if you wanted to know, it's a Gerber LST. I would write it down somewhere, but can't exactly do that. So yeah. So I can't afford $30 right now. I'm until the first of the month. I think I've got $10 cash, and that's it. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, I don't tell anybody to do any of that stuff personally. It's if people are interested, they'll find a way to do it. Nice to see you, Fook. If you can't stick around, that's perfectly fine. Go about your day doing what you normally do. Oddly enough, Fook here has kids. Ugh. Thank you, Fook. We'll see you later, man. Maybe. Yeah, I had that out. It's right here. I've enjoyed this thing. I did 2 videos on it, 3 videos on it. It's a good knife. I just swap out the knives every once in a while because not everybody's interested in staring at the same stuff for hours. Yeah, actually, a significant amount of the Walmarts around the US are sold out. Like, they are gone. They disappeared so quick. It's insane. If I would have had $20, I would have bought 2. I don't know. Favorite knife? I can't pick a favorite. I've got a few that I like more than the others, but I can't pick a favorite on them. I would have bought 2. One to carry and one to just mess around with or something, or just leave in a box. But I can't. I wanted to go and return this one. Well, that's the problem is I carry one knife every week and it swaps every week. I've carried this one more than any other. It's a Victorinox Swiss Champ. It's got 22 tools, and I carried this for 5 or 6 years whenever we went camping. It's a good one. The guy that gave it to me recently passed away, so that sucks, but I don't think I'll ever get rid of this thing. Well, this is my second knife. My first knife broke and while I was carving around the campfire, and the family friend gave me this thing. I didn't talk to him a whole lot. Wish I did, but you know, when you're a kid and you've got older guys walking around and talking all the time, you're not really one listened to very much, or two, you don't know how to talk to people like that very well, especially when you don't know them. I wasn't a very outgoing kid. So, yeah. I don't particularly like Swiss Army knives, but this one will stick around. Yeah, that's true. Everybody has their own preferences, though. Oh, I'm 22. So 5 or 6 years would be like a quarter of my life I carried that thing. How's that for consistency? Yep, I'm apparently one of the youngest YouTubers in the knife community, which is interesting to think about because most of them are sitting about 25 to 50, and I'm sitting way below everybody else. I do have good standing in the knife community, and I highly appreciate the amount of support that I get. It's hard to understand how difficult it is to do YouTube consistently. Coming up with new content all the time is hard to do. And people completely discount that whenever they're watching a YouTube video. Yeah. You have a great day too. We'll see you later. Well, go be with your family then. Anyway, we're not going to try and talk about age too much in here. Don't need people, don't need weird people talking to other people in here. It's not something I support. So, oh, I wish I could carry this thing more. I've been wanting to carry this thing forever, but I never get the chance. And I want to do a 1 week review, but I'm booked out for like 3 weeks. I don't have anything I can trade out for it either. So I'm stuck with the stuff that I'm carrying. Not that I don't enjoy it, but currently I'm carrying this thing for the week. It's a Gin Vaquero. I can't tell you if I recommend it or not yet. I haven't carried it for the full week. It's definitely interesting though. When I do a review on it, which will come out 2 weeks from now, the Saturday after next Saturday, you guys get to know what I think. What, well, so it's a knife kit. You buy it, you put it together, and then you carry it. It's a fun experience when you barely read the instruction manual because I screwed up so many times putting this thing together. But screwing up is so much of the fun. But yeah, it's nice and smooth. It's one of my favorite blade shapes. I do not own any Balisongs. I'm too clumsy and I know I'd end up getting myself good. I've gotten myself cut a few times and it's not the most fun thing in the world. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But yeah, people don't normally realize how hard it is to consistently upload a video. Or in my case, I upload 8 videos every week. And 7 of them are shorts. I have enough knives to make one new short every day for almost half a year. I'm sitting at, I just counted last night, I have 135 pocket knives. And it all started with this one. So I'd say that knife's alright. Damn, that sucks. I do. I own quite a few traditional knives. Collecting and designing traditionals is something I enjoy. And actually, most of my traditionals are sitting right here next to me. So we can go ahead and move all these off the table and then I can show you. I wouldn't mind having an SE6, but it's a little pointless for me because I have a Rat 5. I mean, they're pretty similar. One's got a little bit bigger of a blade, but yeah, that's true. And how's the day going, by the way, around the cabin? Hello there. I don't know a whole lot of French. I own a ridiculous amount of traditionals. This isn't even all of them. I've got. Well, these aren't my oldest knives. That's the thing, is all my old knives, like this one. Well, yeah, I noticed it's French. It's just one word that I know, and that's it. So, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, so this one's from the 50s. It's an Imperial, I think. Yeah, an Imperial fishing knife, which is why it's got a fish on there. And most of my knives that are older than 50 years old are in a box. I'm sure he does. But he also has more money than me. So keep that in mind. Let me get my smaller box real quick. My smaller box has all my traditionals that are older than 50. I'm from Idaho. Currently a sunny day out. We'll go ahead and close all these and then I'll go ahead and get the older ones out. Thank you. I'm about to get out the older ones. So, yeah. All of the knives that I carry are legal in my state. So, this is a Craftsman before Craftsman was part of Sears. This is a case from the 80s. This is a case from the 1930s. Actually, knives are allowed not in my airport as long as you don't try and bring them through security. This knife was made between 1911 and 1916. So this one is, let's see. Well, this one's already over 100 years old, so. I like Barlow's. I can never find a good one, though. I've got an electrician's knife, though. I think this one's from the 50s, too. It's got a screwdriver. How often do you see a locking screwdriver on a knife from the 50s? But yeah, this one's a good knife. So yeah, this one's over 100. This knife, every time I touch it, I need to oil it, so give me a minute. That one was a Camillus. I think. Yeah. Back when they made stuff in New York instead of China. It's a good knife. Let's go ahead and put all these away real quick. Then we'll move on with the other stuff. I won't. Most of the stuff in my collection is in my collection because I want to keep it. I'm missing one. Wonder where that went. Oh, no? Guess I'm missing a knife already. Oh well. Unless it's this one. You have a good one too around the cabin. We'll see you later. So this is a case from the 80s. This is before Craftsman was part of Sears. This one's a case from the 30s. This is a Canton Cutlery Co. from Canton, Ohio. They made pocket knives between 1911 and 1916. And then after 1916, they moved off of Broadway in Canton. I'm mixing up two companies. I don't own any Texas toothpicks. Not true. I do. It's a Frost one. Ah. Cowboy toothpick. All of my case knives have been used. I bought them all at pawn shops. So let's go ahead and move these. This one's a Camillus from the 50s as well. Yeah. So this one is basically unused. It's a good knife. It is carbon steel though, so every time I touch the blade, I need to oil it because I want it to stay the way it is. I'll show you a crazy design here in a minute. I don't have a whole lot of crazy stuff. I'll go ahead and show you the design now. So this is a CRKT dog. This needs some TLC. It needs 3 more scale screws and a deep clean. But this was designed by G&G Hawk. They only made a couple thousand of these things. And apparently another family friend bought this, used it for a bit, lost the scale screws, and then stuck it in a bucket for the rest of the time that it's been around. Who would have known? Now this is who made this? Oh, this is an ML Brandt. This one, I believe, is from 1916. ML Brandt. Okay, wait. This one's from like 1910. This one's from 1911 to 1916. This company was only around for about 20 years, and they made pocket knives between 1911 and 1916. And then after 1916, they moved to a different street in New York and only made razors, shaving razors. So yeah, there's probably only a couple hundred of these things. This is a Camillus too. No, this is a Utica. Utica was bought out. So this one's from the 80s. This one's from the 70s, 60s or 70s. This one's from the 30s, the 1910s, and the 50s. And this one's from the 30s. I believe this one's from the 60s. So yeah, all these are my oldest knives. I don't bring them out too often. They're in good shape, and I prefer to keep them that way. Try not to touch them a whole lot either, so. I do wish stuff nowadays had the same quality that they did back then. Quality control back then was just different. They used to care about what the customer thought. Not so much anymore, unfortunately. So this is a Kershaw promo knife. Back when, let's see, 2022 promo knife. Well, I guess I only have about an hour left on the stream. That sucks. So in 2022, they came out with this promo knife. And when they did that, the idea was to test what people thought about Kershaw making traditional knives. Apparently, it sold well because they turned this promo knife into a. If somebody wants to take a screenshot and look this thing up, it's not going to show up as the promo knife, I don't think. It'll show up as whatever traditional knife they came out with using this design with red bone scales, if I'm not mistaken. It's a decent looking knife. I just found this at a pawn shop and figured it's a piece of Kershaw's history. Why not get it for $10? I forgot I do have more case knives. So this is a case trapper. This is the case trapper. Oh, and this one. This one's a case trapper. So I bought these three together. They were $55 at a pawn shop. This one was basically brand new. This one has a chip in the scale on the back that I wish I could fix, but I'm probably just going to fill it in with something. It's a good knife. The only reason I don't carry it is because of that chip. I don't want it getting any worse. This one is basically brand new, nothing wrong with it or anything. I don't remember what wood they used for the covers, but you can look that up if you want. These are all stainless steel, by the way. This is a case 7254 SS, if you're interested. And this is a case 6254 in white synthetic. This one has a bent tip on one of the blades. I'm looking forward to fixing this thing if possible. If I can't, then I will turn it into a Wharncliffe instead and be happy with it. And at that point, I'm going to carry it because why not carry something that you custom did something to? Anyway, these three retail together for a little over $200. I got them for $55 after tax. They are great knives. If you can find one for a decent price, I highly recommend getting one. But yeah, that's all for these ones. This one's a case small trapper in carbon vanadium steel. I'm currently holding this for another YouTuber. I bought it for him. Eventually he'll pay me and I'll have it shipped out. Looking forward to that happening because I'm tired of it taking up space in my boxes. I'm running out of space in my boxes. The boxes are expensive. If you guys have any questions about any of the knives on the table, please feel free to ask. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. So each of the boxes that I buy is $40, and each box holds 32 knives. I have 6 of them. Yeah, I have 6 of them. So total, I've spent a couple of them I got for half off. So let's see, 20, 40, 80, 120, 200 total I've spent on boxes. Just on the boxes I use, I've got another one that was 200 alone. So total in boxes, I've probably spent 400 plus a couple small ones, so around 450. And you can see one of the small ones, it's the only one that'll fit under the camera. Let me put these away real quick and we'll get that out. So yeah, this box holds as many as I want it to because I lay them all flat on this one. So yeah, this one can fit as many as I want it to. I lay them all flat because they're older knives and the box is a little small to fit them upright. All the other ones are roughly double the size of this one in every dimension except for height. So they're about twice as wide, twice as long, and 1.5 times taller. So somebody asked that earlier, and I can't say that I have a favorite knife, but I can say which ones I like more than the others. I like this one a lot. It got me, this is my second knife. It got me started. I like this one. It's my most expensive knife, sitting at around $450. This one's probably one of my favorite knives to carry. It's the QSP Penguin. They go for around 32. I'm hoping that they'll send something else back, but this is a ZT 620 ST, and I got this one for free because my local pawn shop had somebody take it apart and they couldn't figure out how to put it back together. They said, if you can put this back together, you can have it. We don't want it anymore. So I spent about an hour trying to figure out how to put it back together and got it put back together, and there we go. I now have a knife for free. The downsides of this knife are it has lock rock. So when you shake it, the blade moves. And it has only one spring instead of 2. But it does have a lock. Yeah, not a bad deal. I sent them a parts request asking if they could send me parts for it. They said that they don't have any parts for this knife anymore. It's been discontinued for a long time. The best they could do is if I send it in, they'll see if there's anything wrong with it warranty wise, and if there is, then they'll send me a new something else of equal or lesser value. My problem with that is I don't know if it has anything wrong warranty wise. It doesn't seem like it. nothing really I can do there. But yeah, those are some of my favorite knives for different reasons. Is there anything else? There's some knives that I like that I don't own, unfortunately. Things do get expensive. My favorite knife for the price is this one. It's a CRKT Pete. It's by I think he's my favorite designer. So Jesper Voxnes he's Dutch. He designs knives and makes knives as well. He contracts or licenses out his designs to CRKT for people to get them for a better deal with less expensive materials. Some of which I'll show you. He is a co-founder of Fox Knives. I don't own anything from Fox yet, but these are his designs. I'm sure you can see a resemblance between all of them. Pretty obvious that the same guy designed them all. But yeah, I do take inspiration on some of the knives that he's designed. They are quality pieces that I enjoy quite a bit. So total, everything up on the table, these brand new, if you can get them on sale, are $13, $14. If you don't get them on sale, they're 19, which still isn't bad. These ones, I got it on sale for 60. They are no longer on sale. They're 199. This one I didn't get on sale. I think I got it for like 35 bucks. Not a bad deal. And then this one was 32 with the copper scale, because copper is a little more expensive than steel up here. So it's smaller, but it's still roughly the same price. I did a shipwreck patina by myself. I enjoy how it came out. I don't carry this thing because I'm scared of the clear coat coming off. But yeah, it's one of my favorite knives to look at. One of these days I'll actually carry this thing for a week and do a review on it, but I have other things lined up in front of it already. And these things come with a really nice pouch too. I'll show you that in a sec. This is what the little pouch thing looks like. And you unzip it and you get the knife. You get care instructions, which this one doesn't really need. It's completely stainless. And a tool to take things apart. No clue what you mean by women's, but these are small. I'd say they fit most people with smaller hands. Blade length is 2.5 inches. It fits my hands, and I'm a size medium in gloves. I don't have any fruit in the house that I'm willing to eat right now, anyway. Nope, I don't mess around with knives like that. I've been cut too many times. I think I'm good. So let's see, I've got about 45 minutes left for this stream. That depends. Spyderco does make some nice knives. I own a couple Spydercos, or a few. This one's a Para 3, 2.5 inches of usable blade length. This is a Spyderco Ambitious. And this is a Delica 4. So roughly a 3-inch blade is my sweet spot on knives. It's easy to carry, small enough to fit in your pocket properly, and still controllable. Not too long of a blade to get out of the way of things. Everything on the table here adds up to, let's see, 200, 300, 360, $450 right here. I think I'm good. YouTube chat service. Nice try, though. Oh, Benchmade. I think Benchmades are overpriced. They make nice stuff, but most of their stuff is overpriced. Got somebody with a YouTube username trying to troll me. Real funny. Well, which one are you looking at? Because there's some of their knives that are decent price, but other ones are way overpriced. So the Bug Out is a good knife, but it feels cheap. And you're spending a ridiculous amount of money to get one. And all these knives that I have on the table are legal to carry in my state. Please check your local knife laws before buying anything. There are a few of these that I recommend, and I will tell you if I recommend them or not. Anyway, I'd suggest buying this thing instead. I didn't quite enjoy carrying the Bug Out, but I enjoyed carrying this one. This is, if you can find one, they are at Walmart for $10. California. California is really, their knife laws suck. A lot of the stuff that I carry is illegal there too. I think that these are legal. I'm not 100% sure if this is legal in California or not. If you can carry one, I highly recommend this thing over a Bug Out. $10 instead of $110. A decent blade steel. It's super smooth. Yep, it's called the, if you go on to Walmart's website and look up Ozark Trail D2 7.5-inch knife, it'll show up. Who carries a 9-inch fixed blade? It's a little over the top, don't you think? I mean, what do you use it for anyway? And yes, I do have a Victorinox. It's the second largest one that they make. It's a great knife. It's called the Swiss Champ. 22 tools. Never been there. I don't know anything about Algeria. I carried this thing for 5 years. It's a good one. If they weren't $100, I wouldn't mind having another one. I guess I'm not used to using a 9-inch fixed blade on stuff that has to do with cars. I'm more used to... If I'm going to work on cars, I'm going to use a Leatherman. They are a little pricey. That's one of the one things that I'll say they're worth the money. Oh, well, that makes more sense. A 4.5-inch blade, then? That's not bad. 4.5 inches is still a little long for my taste. I'm more around 2.5 to 3-inch blade length is great for me. I'll pick up a 3.5 every once in a while. There's only one 4-inch knife that I'm... Oh, it's orange. I wish it was gold. But it's like a bright orange. I got this for $10 at a thrift store. Brand new. I think they're $50 here in the US. It's called the... Yeah. It's a Buck 722 Spitfire. I think this is, yeah, this is one of those few knives that's a 3.5-inch blade that I'd carry. And I enjoyed this knife a lot. I got it for free when I bought $175 worth of stuff at Blade HQ. I don't own a kukri. Those ones are, let's see, they're a little large for the uses that I have in knives. But my uses are mostly opening packages, cutting food, and carving wood every once in a while. I don't do a whole lot of chopping. So a kukri wouldn't be very useful to me. I can see how it's a useful knife, though. I have one. Wouldn't recommend buying it. I got it for $25 when they were on sale. It used to shoot out faster than it does, but it's 4 years old and it's been closed for most of its lifetime. So, yeah. It's weird trying to sharpen this thing would be ridiculous because it does have these grooves in there. I'm not touching those because those are insanely sharp. And if my back wasn't going numb, I wouldn't mind sitting here. But yeah, it's got a safety and it's a single action OTF. You have to push this release right here and then pull it back. And then it's locked into place and you can push it forward again. Make sure to keep your fingers out from in front of this thing because it will pinch the hell out of you. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and grab a couple more to bring out. Put a couple away. Carbon fiber can't really be used for blades. It's too brittle. And I don't think that it would hold an edge very well. However, on scales, such as on this one, where it's got carbon fiber inlays, carbon fiber is rigid and strong, but it's not very tough. This one is solid carbon fiber. I try. I do a lot of looking around and studying things before I talk about them. It is hard to keep up with the community and have good standing in a community where you don't stay focused on things. When you're not learning about the newer stuff or the older stuff either, and all you know is this looks cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. If all you know is this thing looks cool, so I bought it, then you're missing out on a ton of useful stuff that you could know. Thank you. I own 3 of them. One of them's for sale. Um, I don't know if it was a scallion. I can't remember which one it is. This one's for sale. I don't like serrations. I don't know why I bought it. So the other 2 aren't for sale. It's just this one. It's in great shape. It's just nobody likes serrations, so that's why it's for sale. Yeah, see? Nobody likes it. That's my point exactly. This one? This one is a Kershaw Launch 1. It's a great knife. And then this one is the CRKT M16 03KS. It's a good knife as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and bring out all the leaks. How about that? And then the Scallion, not the Kershaw. That's what it was. Or not the, what was it called? Chive. Let me put some knives away real quick. And I'll bring out the rest of the leaks and stuff. I own 3 leaks and 3 scallions. Yeah, this one's a M16. My 3rd leak has a broken tip. I broke it off trying to fix the bent tip. I knew it was going to happen, but I had to try anyway. This scallion is for sale. This one is not. How you doing, Maxilla? And this one is not for sale either. So in total, everything on the table right here, I have spent, I think, $100. These 3 up here cost me less than one of them brand new. And the 3 on the bottom I got for like $10 a piece. So sitting right at about what they would, or right at about $100 in total. But yeah, if you're interested in that black knife and you want to try and find it, it's called an M16-03KS. You can try and find that. It's a good knife. It's not my style though. I'll probably keep that one, but I'll get rid of the ones below it, the 2 smaller ones. All of these have functioning locks. Whenever they don't, I contact Kershaw and they send me a new one. A new lock, not a new knife. But yeah, this one's for sale. For able to be shipped anywhere in the US. $35 after shipping. This one's not for sale. This one is. It is $40 anywhere in the US after shipping. I'm losing money on this one. And this one's not for sale. I might open a whatnot page or something. I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works. Wouldn't be a bad idea though. So, international shipping costs an insane amount of money, and if you're, well, The problem with shipping to other countries is I don't know how to fill out custom forms, and it has to go through customs before it gets shipped. I don't think either of the knives that I've put up for sale or that I've said are for sale on here are legal in the UK either. And yeah, you have to follow your own knife laws, but I don't know if I would get in trouble for something like that. So these are for sale in the continental United States only. This does not include Hawaii or Alaska, as that's going to cost more to ship. Let's see here. Got about 20 minutes left on the stream. I wanted to do a 2-hour stream, but that's not going to happen. So the problem with it is they are automatic knives. They're spring assisted, so spring assisted knives are illegal in a lot of countries. I believe the UK is one of those. If I'm wrong, somebody please tell me so. Oh, the table's a mess. What do you do? Hmm. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start sharpening stuff. If anybody is, we'll see you later then. If anybody's interested in watching that, I don't have a whole lot to do today. And as of now, I have 22 minutes or so left for the stream. Unfortunately, all my knives are sharp, so I'm just going to be sitting here with a knife that I don't particularly like. I'll still be here. I've got a little while before I end the stream. And this one's going to end up being cut. I'm going to cut the blade from right here down so that it's great for, or it's easy to sharpen, but it's also great for carving. All right. Onto the bare table it is. One of these days I'll work on it more. Sharpening gets boring when you have nothing to talk about. Let's see here. Is there anything else that's interesting on the table? No, there is not. I'd go for the honestly, I'd go for the Kraken. I love how those things look. I'm trying to so there's this an Nkosi on Marketplace for sale. They want 350 for it, and I can't afford 350 right now. And it really sucks because I really want that knife. But it also sucks because there's a pawn shop that's about 80 miles away that's closing permanently. And I'd like to stop there and see if they have anything that I'd be interested in. Um, but yeah, I'd go with the Kraken because I like that you can take the scales off. And S90V is something that I think I'd like more than MagnaCut. MagnaCut's not a problem. I do enjoy carrying stuff with MagnaCut, but I just think that I'd go with S90V over MagnaCut. I'm not worried about toughness of my blades. I've only ever snapped one, and that was me trying to fix it because somebody else screwed it up. But yeah, I like the Kraken over the competition right now. The Kraken's a really good looking knife. That's true. I don't know what Pyrotech's warranty looks like. I know the Chris Reeve warranty is pretty good, but then again, I could literally walk to the Chris Reeve shop from my house. It'd take a couple hours, but I could do it. I'm not that far. I could walk over there. Most people aren't that close. I could also walk to Koenig. Koenig knives are made in Boise, Idaho as well. That's probably an hour walk away. It's like a 10-minute drive, but yeah. Okay, now let's be clear. You're going to be waiting a long time to get that blade replaced. Last time I asked, blade replacements are 18 months out. So if you need a blade replaced, you are going to wait over a year to get your knife back. So do keep that in mind. Washers, I'll have to ask them about that. I don't know if they can just send you those. Luckily, they're not a knife company that's like, don't take our knives apart or else it voids the warranty. Spyderco. But yeah, I don't know where Pyrotech is based. I haven't done a whole lot of research on them, partially because I can't afford a $300 knife. I'm also saving up for stuff on auctions right now. $300 knives from China. Okay. I mean, they're good knives. Where do they even come from? Dude, 3 weeks is better than Gerber. That Gerber Covert Auto that had blade play or lock rock when I got it was ridiculous. Their turnaround is like 6 to 8 weeks. I didn't realize that when I sent it in, but I'm gonna have to wait 2 months until I get that thing back. And then again, I don't even know if I'm getting that knife back or something else to replace it. That's the worst part. They don't make that knife anymore. It is one of them Grail knives. True, yeah. When you're not stuck sitting there waiting for your Chris Reeve to come back. You know, honestly, this is gonna sound terrible, but if you're sending a Chris Reeve knife like a Sebenza in to get some work done on it, just go buy one of them Land 712s or something to replace it for a while. Those knives aren't bad from what I've seen. I don't have one yet, but it's almost a direct copy of the Sebenza. Leatherman's, I don't know how they know how old the knives are, but their warranty is only 25 years. Only 25 years. I'm not even 25 years old. But do keep that in mind. They don't have a lifetime warranty, it is a 25-year warranty. Not that that's not a big deal, that's a lot. I'm probably going to pick up one of those Land knives. I think it would be funny to bring a Land knife over to the Chris Reeve shop and say, hey, can you guys work on this for me? I'm sure everybody would get a good kick out of that. Unfortunately, they might just take the knife because it is a copy. Although it isn't a direct copy, it is a pretty authentic copy. Yeah, I don't have anything that. Well, let's be serious here. My only knives that are over $200. I just thought about that. I only have two knives that go for over 200 bucks. This knife is sitting right at 200. I carry it every once in a while. One thing to keep in mind, I want you to keep in mind, don't flick your Chris Reeve open. If you get a Medford clone and go to their booth, you will get it taken. They have the legal right to confiscate anything that's a copy of their property. And considering how much of a D-bag he is, I'm going to say he's probably going to take it. However, if you're lucky and they get the heat treat on the D2 on those things right, you might just convince them that it's real. But yeah, the only knives that I own that are over 200. Oh, okay. Are this ZT and it's funny. All my knives that are over $200 are Kershaw or Kai USA knives. This is a Kershaw, this is ZT. Punisher, do you have Instagram? Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I have absolutely no clue where you'd get those. Not at all. I carried a Kershaw Leak for a good month, and it's the one with the broken tip. Right here. I carried this thing for a month and I enjoyed it. And the missing tip made it easier to sharpen. That's the best part. It made it significantly easier to sharpen. I don't know why it's so hard to get the tip sharp on those things. Probably because it bends a little bit when you sharpen it. But missing the tip made this thing so much nicer. The only downside is you don't get that pokey stuff that you could get when it had it. I have about 8 minutes left on the stream. Is there any questions that anybody else has? I do enjoy you guys sticking around for the whole stream. If you guys have been here, it's almost an hour and a half at the moment. It'll probably be an hour and 40 minutes by the time it's over. So I've got a local knife shop that sells the cheapest knife they sell is a case that's like 50 something bucks. And they go all the way up to Heretic knives that are sitting at around $2,000. They don't carry them anymore because one of Medford's employees came in and didn't like how they had the Medford knives placed in the store. So he started bitching about it to Medford. Medford called the company or the owner of the shop and said, I don't like the way that you're setting up my knives to show people. And he's like, well, I don't care what you think. It's my store. He's like, well, you're a piece of shit. And then the knife owner goes, I'm not going to buy your stuff anymore. And he didn't. Fun stuff. Like, imagine one of the people that buys your knives from you and you call him a piece of shit just because of how the knives are positioned in the store. That's ridiculous. I don't know why you'd care so much about how they're positioned when they're selling. And either way, it doesn't matter. He bought the knives ahead of time. He doesn't owe you anything. I don't know where he peaked. I've never even talked to the guy. For everybody curious, this is what I'm carrying today. Jin sent me this. I haven't had any real problems with it after I torqued down the inner screws. I did have a problem with it coming loose, but that was a my problem, not a knife problem. I didn't tighten it properly, so there you go. I'd like to talk to the guy, but I don't think that he's one of them people that takes constructive criticism properly. So I don't think that conversation is going to go anywhere productive. Now, I haven't told anybody this, and Knives, I guess, doesn't know yet. Jen sent me an email. Don't tell him this. Hopefully, he's not here. Jen sent me an email saying that they'd be willing to work with me on making knife designs happen. They probably would. That's hilarious. That's really funny. I still need to start some beef with that guy again. I think I'm going to do that next year. Anyway, I told Knives, I guess, to start sketching out some knife designs. And I know he likes pocket cleavers, and I know this is a company that he likes. So what I'm going to have him do is sketch out some pocket cleaver designs, and then I'm going to 3D model them. And then we'll see what Jen thinks about them. Hopefully that goes well, because I'd love to see him come out with a knife design that he likes. Takes time though. I think everybody forgets that stuff like that takes a significant amount of time. Anyway, while we're sitting here waiting, because the family's coming home here pretty soon, and once I hear that big diesel truck that they've got come home, I'm going to say that it's time to go. But until then, I can talk a little bit more. I just don't want anybody interrupting the stream or anything, and as soon as they come home, the whole house gets loud. So doodly doot doot. Oh my god, I'm bored. God, this thing's so sharp. I reprofiled MagnaCut with this stone right here. It's a fine stone, so I reprofiled from dull to sharp, and it took like 30 minutes. And this thing is sharp, sharp. Well, actually, I got a paper towel. Let's double check, because this is my own edge. I'm happy with that. I'd try it anyway. I do most of my content on Saturdays, because on Saturdays nobody's around. Yeah, look at that. I'd do it on a day where most of the people aren't around. One thing to keep in mind is the shorts that I make right now, it doesn't matter if it's noisy, because you can't hear any of the background noise. I don't know if you can hear that, but my neighbor's mowing the lawn. This one's my edge too. Let's see how this one goes. Oh yeah. think I killed the stream on accident by saying that I'm leaving soon. How you doing, Mad? Why is it that whenever you join, I'm literally about to leave? That explains it. Okay. Not that that's gonna bother me. You sleep on your own time. Yep. Well, my streams end because the family comes home and then the whole house gets loud and interrupts the whole stream. So I just end the stream so that nobody, first of all, nobody hears my name because the rest of the family starts saying my name. Hey, come help, and blah, 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 blah. My name will be out there eventually. And when that happens, the plan is that I will already have had a design come out from CRKT. Now, when that happens, my name and face are going to be on the channel. I probably won't stick my face on the channel very much, but there will be a face to the name and a face to the voice behind the channel. Damn it, Billy, why'd you lock the door? Or something like that. The only reason why last week didn't get interrupted so bad was because I accidentally left the door locked. Like the front door was locked, and I'm sure you can understand how that went. It just sucks because I know I'm going to have to interrupt the stream randomly and say, hey, I gotta go. Well, it was locked because I didn't go outside. I did this morning because I had stuff to throw away, but I don't have any stuff to throw away today. Or I didn't have any stuff to throw away that day. Yeah, that. So if anybody in here is in the CRKT underground group and follows me on Instagram, you'll probably already know who I am. But the support in that group is insane. And the company's always looking for new people to come out with designs with. The problem that I don't think, the reason why I'm not sure if it's going to work out or not. Damn it, somebody figured it out. No, I'm not Ken Onion. Now, where was I going with that? It's just a great support system. The only problem is a lot of their stuff doesn't have or isn't made in the US, and my designs need to be made in the US for a decent price. And no, I'm not Jesper, but I do love his designs. I brought this one out a few times during the stream. I'd love to carry this, but I'm packed with other knives that I need to carry first. Like, I'm already pushing the Iridium video out by 2 weeks just so that I could post the video on this thing. Like, I'm interrupting my whole schedule to stick this knife in there somewhere. And that kind of sucks to do, but I'd like to get this out first. I own 4 of the knives that he's designed. 4 out of however many, and you can tell he's the designer. And the reason you can tell, let's go ahead and get this paper off, because they all look the same. I mean, look at them. You can tell they're designed by the same guy. Like, this is just a less expensive version of this. Oh. Okay, so what CRKT wants, if you have a design, is they want you to either have a functioning prototype, which you'd have to put out the money or something to have done. Or for me, I brought up, I'm looking to get a printer, a 3D printer, to make the design and see if it works. Now, I do have a locking mechanism concept that has not been made before. I'm waiting until I have enough money to patent that before I bring it out to any companies. And I don't know what I'm going to name it yet, but I think it'll work out. Anyway, what's your design? No, I wouldn't do something like that. I don't want it branded too bad. I've got a couple lock designs that I've got in mind, but they all need tested before anything else. Takes time to test things. I'd like to see, honestly, both of those companies are great companies. Yeah, I hate the crossbar lock, honestly. I hope it goes well, but I don't see the hype behind it. It's interesting, and it's an ambidextrous lock. It just hurts my fingers because most of the Omega springs on those things are a little too strong. And when you can't take the knife apart to fix them, you're kind of screwed. That's one of the reasons why I want one of the Krakens, is because I think you can adjust the springs on those ones. But I do like the reverse Tonto idea. I hate the Mannix. Okay. Let me rephrase that. I like the Mannix idea, but the spring on that thing is way too hard to pull back on all of the ones that I've held. If it was about half as strong as it was, I'd be in love with that thing. But also the lightweight scales on that thing suck. I hate the lightweights, the Spyderco lightweight scales. I hate them so much. So much. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, no, I don't, well, probably. I don't have any calluses on my hands. And something rough, textured like that really bothers me because it doesn't feel good. I don't know what else to talk about. I kind of just sat there for like an hour talking about all my old knives, but I don't have a whole lot of time, and I don't know how much time I have is the worst part. You know, while we're here, I can sit here and talk about the few issues I've had with this gin knife. If it's any stronger than the Manix, I won't even touch the thing. Yeah, let's talk about a few of the problems I've had with this. Now, this titanium pocket clip was a cool idea. I'm glad it came to mind. So before I knew that these existed, I came out with a design for a hanger clip just like this. Yeah, I probably wouldn't like it then. And I didn't know that these existed yet, so I came up with a full design that this would work great for those knives with a lanyard hole but no pocket clip, because there's actually quite a few more of those than you might think. Well, it's already a thing, but these are designed for keys, and they come with this little keychain that's supposed to go onto here on this little hole and then go into your keys. Well, I removed that because these have a big hole to stick stuff through, and it works great. You need to get used to it, but if you've got like a buck 110 or something and you want a pocket clip on that thing, drill a hole through it, stick some paracord or something through there, and one of these, it's awesome. The reason why I consider this so beneficial is because I've carried this knife for a little while, and before I had this lanyard and the pocket clip on it, this would sink to the bottom of my pocket every single time, and it bothered the hell out of me because it's under my wallet, it's under my keys, and reaching down to the bottom of your pocket to grab a knife that you need kind of quick, it's not fun. Well, now that I got this, it sits right there at the edge of my pocket next to everything else, and it just works wonderfully. And it's easy to stick in to put the pocket clip on the edge of your pants. You stick the whole knife in your pocket, you pull your hand out, you grab this and stick it on the pocket. Anyway, the same goes for this. This would have sat at the bottom of my pocket under my phone, and I don't like reaching for things under my phone. The phone's the largest thing in my pocket, which is why this clip works so great. You slide it in like this, and then push this, like you stick your whole hand in, push it in, then as it's going in, you grab the pocket clip and push that onto the hem of your pocket, and it just worked great. When the full week video comes out for this thing, I will put a link to those things in the comments or in the description. They're a little pricey. Each one of these is $9. They're solid 97 point something titanium, and the rest is chromium, which is, I'd consider that solid titanium. If you get 3 of them, they are 16 instead of 9 each. So you get 3 of them for the price of less than 2. I'd recommend getting the 3 in case you have any other knives without a pocket clip that do have a lanyard hole. I do have a few other knives that I'd like to do this to, this one being one of them. Okay, so my pockets are pretty big. They fit, I can fit my phone, another phone on top of that, 2 knives, and my wallet in one pocket. I just don't. I put one knife in each pocket, my wallet on one side and the keys in that pocket, because when I had them at the same pocket with my phone, it cracked my screen. So I don't do that anymore. I have had bad luck with other things cracking my phone screen as well when you stick them in there. So I try and keep things as far to the side of my pocket as possible. The wider knives like this are really hard to do. I might be needing to head out here in a minute. Maybe. Nope, doesn't look like it yet. The wider knives, like the Para 3, this thing is huge. Look at that. This sticks out so ridiculously far. When you have it like this is pushing at the hem of your pocket, and this sits directly like this, with this being the edge of your pocket, and forces your phone over as far as you can. Well, this also gets up under the phone, where the phone's on top of it, and the screen is up against right here, which is where I cracked my screen as well. I'd carry the Para 3 more, and I love using the crap out of this thing. I bought this thing to abuse it, and it just takes everything I hand at it and keeps going. I love that thing. I just can't carry it. And it's the spider hole that gets in the way. It's the fact that they decided we need a hole there, which, don't get me wrong, the jimping and stuff against that hole is wonderful. If I had a dedicated knife pocket, that'd be nice, but I don't. I wear jogging pants all the time. Instead of jeans or something, I don't have a back pocket. But yeah, the jimping right up here is great. But if this thing had a pocket or a thumb stud instead, and was just like a rat or a rat 1 where it goes flat right here, and just a thumb stud right here, I'd love this knife so much more. It's such a good knife, and I love the compression lock. It's just such a fun knife. The problems, though, the carrying problems are too much of a hassle for me to carry it, though. And I wish that they did something about that, but there's nothing you can do to change a knife that much to make it fit in your pocket better. I mean, what do you do, you know? There's a couple other knives that I wish I could carry more. Yeah, I couldn't carry a Manix. Those things are huge. I mean, this is big, but the Manix is massive. You know what the funny part is I was able to carry this Cold Steel because it's less wide than the Spyderco. And the reason why I can carry the Cold Steel and not this thing is because of the way the pocket clips are set up. When you have this pushing against the hem of your pocket, it goes flat. When you have this going, it doesn't go flat. It goes over and sticks out that much further than the Cold Steel. And it really causes problems. So I've carried large knives. It's just the way that this knife is designed I have trouble carrying it. And this thing was fun. I beat the tar out of this thing, and it's still... There's a piece of paper. Keep in mind, I never sharpened this thing when I bought it. So with this knife, on the original edge that I got it from the... Yeah, those code 4s are pretty big too. So I bought this thing from a pawn shop for $26.50 after tax. I chopped through a log with it, cut off 30 trout heads, and then stabbed it into a log again. And it's still paper cutting sharp with the edge that I got it with. It doesn't have, it's not sharp. I'm having trouble sharpening this thing because I don't have any lower grit stones. If I did, I'd go for it, but I don't, so I can't. But yeah, S35VN, classic cold steel S35VN is insane. I don't know if they still make their S35VN the same, but it's such a good blade steel. I love this thing. This one's another one that I'd like to carry, but the this bi-directional stuff shreds pockets, and I can't afford more pants, so I don't carry it. If I got the titanium scales for this thing, which are ridiculously expensive, I think they're 70 something bucks, I would carry this thing more. I'd probably anodize them purple and then carry it, because I don't think pink is on the titanium scale for anodizing. I'd prefer to go with pink. This is I don't think it's limited, but this was the pink version that was made for breast cancer awareness. And I'd like to keep it pink, but I don't know if they'd do that again. Or I don't know if they still do that. But yeah, it's a good knife. It's an S30V. Haven't tested it out yet. I just can't afford to lose a pair of pants. I've got one pair of pants for every day of the week. And then 2 pairs of shorts. This thing was ridiculously expensive when I bought it. It's a, let's see, 2-inch blade. Yeah. 2-inch of usable blade length for 93 bucks with plastic scales. That's absolutely ridiculous. And that's the biggest downside of these things, is they're so expensive for how much you're getting. And sure, I'm sure that Spyderco's heat treat on this stuff is insane, but when I bought it, it was before their prices jumped. This thing right now is sitting at 100 bucks. You'll drop a hundo on this thing. And it's tiny. Like, you can still see it in frame, it's so small. This is 6 inches long. The board, it's 5.5 inches total. I mean, this one's pretty good. Yeah. I wanted pink, though. I spent an extra $30 to get something in pink. How's that make you feel? The Ambitious isn't a bad knife. I bought this one used from a pawn shop for $20. I've had fun with it. I carried this thing, I sharpened it. I don't know if it's paper towel sharp. I haven't tested that yet. It could be sharper. But yeah, this one was $20 brand new. They're like 60, and you're getting a larger knife for less money. Sure, it's just 8CR13, but how often does a blade steel matter? I don't have a Tenacious yet. I've had the opportunity to get one for like $30, but it was the black coated half serrated one, and I don't like that. It's either fully serrated or not serrated, one of the two. I won't go for half serrations. I'm tired of saying, hey, I want that knife. Oh, it's half serrated. I'll get it anyway because I'm sure somebody will buy it off me. No, nobody will buy that thing off you, I promise you. If you get a knife and it's half serrated, nobody's going to buy it from you. Let's see. What other... I think I have one more Spyderco. Oh, the Delica 4. I got this one from a auction for $42. It came with the Lynch clip that's on this one, but I took it off and stuck it on this because I like this knife more. Well, guess what? I'll carry this one before I carry the Para 3. This one's just overall smaller. It fits in the pocket better. I mean, look at that. This is about small enough that I could comfortably stick it in my pocket and take up less space than that Cold Steel. Yeah, it's just smaller. My first Spyderco was that Dragonfly 2, but at the same time, in the same shipment, I bought the Para 3 and the Dragonfly 2. So both of those are my first ones, but I opened the Dragonfly first, so I'll consider that my first Spyderco. I've got a ton of knives to pick from, and I just keep on picking the same damn ones. What's up with that? Anyway, anybody else have something to talk about? Because if not, I'm going to go on a whole spiel about how this thing, the reason why this thing was probably discontinued. think my EDC of the year, or my budget knife over $50 of for 2024, is the Bestech Good Boy. It is 3.5 inches of D2 steel with a solid button lock that I have enjoyed carrying very much. Very comfortable with the crowned spine. Really nice jimping that doesn't catch your finger too much, but it's comfortable and catches it just enough to be good. Highly recommend this thing. You can get them for about $53 at Blade HQ. I do not have an affiliate code for that, and Bestech is not paying me to say anything. I wish they were, but they're not. They come in many different colors. This one was a limited run. It's the free knife that I got for spending $175 on their website when this was an option. The one that I recommend is there's one, it's a Stormtrooper color setup with a white handle and a DLC finished blade. Highly recommend that because DLC finishes are just amazing. For 50 something bucks, you can get DLC on D2. I'd say go for it. The budget knife under $50 for the year. Honestly, I was going to say something else until this thing showed up. It's going to be the Ozark Trail. This thing just, it's done so well. And it's probably the fastest that a crossbar lock has ever sold out at Walmart. Sadly, Walmart doesn't listen to the people that buy their shit. And when things, apparently their knives get discontinued pretty often. If they sell out of this at some point, there's a chance that they won't ever get them back in stock. And I'm not saying that to make people worry, but that's just the way that Walmart is because Walmart sucks. But yeah, this one is D2 with the PVD finish. Or some sort of finish that it's probably Cerakote or something. But 3.3 inches of Cerakoted finished D2 at a decent HRC, well tested and proven on the Knives I Guess YouTube channel. Highly recommend this thing. The only downside, well, this thing, I'd pick this thing over a Bug Out. The solid steel liners all the way down, Bug Out doesn't have that. Bug Out's too squishy. This thing isn't squishy. It's solid. And I can't squish it. Plus, I'm sure that this thing will survive going through the dryer more than once. I've seen a picture of a dude that posted, he had his Bug Out go through the dryer and the whole thing just folded. Yeah, I can't really afford titanium scales for that kind of thing though. If I'm going for titanium scales, it's going to be going for my Delica 4. And then next it's going on my Dragonfly 2. Anyway, yeah, the scales for the Delica 4 are 93 bucks, and the scales for the Dragonfly 2 are like 70. So, the reason why this thing, I believe, was discontinued, it is discontinued, I just don't know for sure why. The heat treat on this thing sucks. Like, really sucks. It is the softest steel I've ever worked with, or I've ever carved with. Like, there's some of these Pakistan-made knives that this thing's heat treated better than this piece of crap. I spent 50 bucks on this. And it is quite possibly the most displeasing experience with a pocket knife that I've ever had. So this is the, I don't have any of the of Cobra Tech's knives. I might hit them up, but OTFs aren't my thing. And not that I've been hurt by any of them, but I just prefer folding knives. They're more fun. I don't like the whole chink, 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 open, close, really quick kind of deal. I like the slow close, quick open kind of stuff. But yeah, so this is 8CR13 MOV with the trashiest heat treat you will ever get on a knife. And I think that this is, oh, this is the Kershaw Decibel. It's ridiculous. I don't think I'd ever buy this thing again for any price. It takes a significant amount of money to run a YouTube channel. All the knives that I've reviewed on my channel up to this point have been purchased by me. I make $10,400 a year. I'm probably the guy with the lowest income you'll ever see on YouTube who still has a functioning channel. Now, $10,400 is enough to afford rent, gas, insurance, and food barely. And the fact that I throw in a little bit into the channel every month to keep it running is just insane. But yeah, it's a little fact that I'll bet you didn't know about me. I make less money than most teenagers. Can't hold a job worth crap, but I'm decent at the YouTube stuff. And I'm not going to tell anybody to open a it is kind of hard to do. Anyway, I think I probably have to head out here pretty soon. The stream is probably going to end very randomly. I do appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later.